The sniper can be a very deadly class in the right hands, benefiting greatly from good team play, patience, and map awareness. Allow your teammates to grab aggro, enabling you to deal massive amounts of damage. With this build we have here, you will maximize your cloak ability, gain position, and take aim, and watch heads explode. We will discuss the perks, the weapons, the weapon perks, and also just an overall playstyle for this build. Before we get into a deeper dive going into the perks, what we have circled on the screen here is the must-have perks for this build. The others you can kind of tweak if you choose, but we will get into why I chose the perks I did and why I think they are the most beneficial for this build. So first we will have their starting perk, which is the headshot damage increases by 10%, which is very nice. We will go to the core perks and kind of discuss of why we're using each one. First we have block break. Shots against blocking or shielding enemies deal 25% of normal damage. With this, coupled with all of our other damage boosts, when you are hitting a blocking or shielded enemy, you are probably doing between 60 and 75% damage, which is amazing. Next is Vantage Point. Remaining stationary for 2 seconds increases your primary weapon's damage by 20%. Very nice. Okay, next is Lethal Efficiency. Killing more than one enemy with a shot from the Lost Fusel restores its charge by 1. So, spoiler alert, this is a Lost Fusel build. We'll get into that when we go to the weapons. And for our team perk, we want Squad Renewal. A headshot kill restores ability charge by 10% for any squad member. And then you pair that with Renewal. A headshot kill restores camo cloak charge by 5%. That is giving us a 15% restore on our ability. And it's very fast. You're using your cloak probably every 20 to 25 seconds. Next up is Targeted Shot. The first range attack that breaks camo cloak deals 75% more damage. So as I said earlier, you are using your camo cloak a lot to fall back, get behind your teammates, and then really deal massive amounts of damage. So that paired with this right here, which is your stationary for 20%, you can get a 95% increased bonus if you camo cloak, get behind your teammates, stand still for a couple seconds, and then fire into their enemy. And for our last gear perk, we have Ambush. When Camo Cloak deactivates, it startles nearby enemies. They will temporarily lose control to get knocked back. Cooldown is 30 seconds. With this, it's important when you camo, sometimes you really get stuck maybe on a wall, or you're getting stuck in between huge mobs of heavy enemies that you cannot move out of your way. In this case, if it does happen and it breaks when you're in a huge crowd, you will knock everything back and really give you the advantage to get out of there. And for our signature, I like to go with Emergency Override. When you receive lethal damage, Camo Cloak automatically activates without spending a charge, and you become invulnerable for 5 seconds. This can happen every 3 minutes, and I find it extremely useful on the higher level difficulties. Moving straight to our primary weapon for this build, we have the Lost Fusel, which is a charged sniper rifle. I choose the Gathlamor Crusade because of the increased magazine capacity, which in later difficulties in this game is extremely important. For our perks, our main perks that we are looking for is increasing our charge shot and also headshot damage. So with these perks, you can get a total of a 30% increase on your charge shot and a 30% increase on your headshot damage, as well with a 20% increase to your ammo reserve. These are the best perks I found for this gun and this build that we have right here. From here, we will go into the bolt pistol, our secondary weapon. With this weapon, I choose the increased accuracy to get me more headshots that in return refills my cloak ability. It is very powerful, but I would not blame you if you decided to go with the increased ammo reserve instead. We will go straight into the perks, which these perks is basically all about getting your headshot damage and a little extra ammo capacity are the main perks that you're going to want to pick for your secondary bolt gun. And finishing things up with our combat knife, the only melee option for the sniper. Personally, I choose the Blood of Vosus due to the fact that it has extremely high speed, and that is something that I really like to have with this class. We will go straight into the perks. This has a very strong perk that I found extremely valuable throughout my playtime, which is this perk right here, Shoulder Bash. Replace distance stab and shoulder bash, or with shoulder bash, while evading, sprinting, tap an attack button to quickly perform an area effect forward attack. So when you're sprinting or when you're diving, you hit your melee attack button and you will do a shoulder bash. The shoulder bash will knock down any nearby small enemies and give you a gunshot opportunity. This is one of the best crowd controls I found to have with the sniper in keeping me alive when my other teammates were dead possibly, or I just really needed that survivability. I found this to be extremely useful, guys. So I would suggest using that over this heavy attack one for sure. And I went straight across the bottom except for this increased damage one right here. Let's get into some gameplay. As you can see at the top left, we are on Ruthless. I wanted to show you how this build performs against the toughest difficulty in the game. So this is just going to be more of a high density type of area that we're going to explore and kind of talk about how you should go about maneuvering when you are the sniper. Also, up into these points, when you're kind of just running to your next objective, you're going to want to shadow your teammates, really kind of be in the background, marking enemies, and just doing as much range damage as possible and staying out of close melee type of combat as much as you can. And obviously standing still is going to give you amazing damage boosts, and using your cloak as well is going to give you some damage boosts as well. So when you have a ammo cache near you, the best thing to do is try to keep the ammo cache as open as possible so you can really just unload on the enemies with your Las Fusel charge sniper rifle, which is extremely good. And if you're firing to heavy mobs of enemies like that, you will actually be regaining some of your ammo back, so that is nice as well. And as you see, kind of when you cloak, don't take your shot right away. Look around, see if you can find some people in the background that are definitely ranged enemies are very deadly, especially when you get too many of them. So you really want to try to control the ranged enemies if you can. It'll help your teammates out a lot. And then from there, you're really just marking, like I said, I just marked that enemy so my teammates knew like they're coming from this side, so they can run over there, grab the aggro, and I can kind of just sit back and do my thing. Oh yeah, we had a good amount of enemies pop up right here. And as you see, I kind of paused there before I came out of my camo cloak just to grab my extra 20% of damage with the stationary perk. Yeah, I got a little greedy right there. I wasn't paying attention. I got greedy, I can tell. But the cloak is going to save you so much as the sniper. That's why I chose the perks I did, just to really keep that cloak up and right. I mean, just look how fast my cloak is refilling when I'm getting these headshots. I mean, I just had my cloak on, what, maybe 10 seconds ago? And it is almost maxed already. One more headshot and it should be maxed. Yeah, that is very nice. And right here, I was just focusing on these. I noticed there was like 7 of these range guys. I really wanted to try to get them off my team. And I also had a Guardian Relic, so that's why I'm not popping the stim right now. I figured I'd use the Guardian Relic, and then when I came back, I would use the stim to give me near full health. And as you see, it's just all about cloaking and staying away from the enemies as much as you can, and then just unloading the damage that no other class in this game really has the potential to do. And then we got one final wave coming up right here. We actually had a pretty strong showing for just me. This is me, a random guy, and then it was a bot. So we did pretty good for being on Ruthless. He had a very good tactical class as well. Tacticals are very strong in this game. As you see, it's just all about picking out those heavy enemies and just whittling their health down as fast as you can for your teammates. Because your teammates can really usually, you know, if they're close combat characters, they can handle those smaller guys and really knock them back and get gunshots and stuff like that. It's those heavy characters that you really want to focus on and take out as fast as you can. And you will finish your operations just like this in Ruthless. I really appreciate you guys checking out the video. I hope it was some kind of help, and just keep it subscribed here, and I will have future updates on this class. I'll have other classes coming out, and just overall Space Marine 2 news in general. Thanks again for watching, and most importantly, have a great day.